Buongiorno.
Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Buongiorno. I hope you're all doing well. Good morning. I hope you're prepared for a longer video because we have a lot of things to discuss. We stopped, and the last video on the channel was about the last deadline day. The deadline day about the Mercato, a crazy epic Mercato where we saw two big players like Vlahovic and Zakaria joining Juve. Some people departed Juve. We are speaking about Dejan Kulusevski, Rodrigo Bentancur, but also Ramsey on deadline day. But we have to speak about the new Juventus, a crazy Juventus. We have to see how they will probably play versus Verona. We have to speak about the future Mercato, because there are some big names already now in February linked to Juventus and some possible departure, because we know that at a certain moment we will have too many players. In this video, a lot of news. I hope you are prepared, guys. Put a maximum of like, but one thing is sure: when you are putting this like, when you are choosing to watch that video, I want to hug you like Dusan Vlahovic was actually hugging Federico Chiesa yesterday, as you see in the image. I want to hug you one by one. Start with the video, start with the intro. Yesterday was the 2nd of February 2022, so we can also say that it was the Deschilio day, as he said also himself. The perfect day doesn't exist. This was the picture of Deschilio yesterday with a 2-2-22. Grande Lord that make us love. I was not expecting that kind of a social media picture of Deschilio, but yesterday was also the day where all the Italian papers started with a big name for the future. We are speaking about Nicolo Zaniolo, the player of Roma that was out for a long time due to injury, actually a double injury, ACL. He's starting to recuperate, he's starting to play, but there are some problems between him and Roma about his extension. We go to Corriere dello Sport of yesterday, where he was saying Zaniolo scoppia il caso. There might start to be a problem with Zaniolo. Gazzetta dello Sport instead was speaking about Zaniolo e Signora, Zaniolo and the old lady, referring absolutely to Juventus. And then we finish with Tuttosport, segnali di Juve. Juve signs. Why? Because the name of Zaniolo is really real. It can be a possibility, like Tuttosport was saying inside a paper yesterday. Zaniolo for the summer, yes, but there is also the possibility that some players from Juventus will go to Roma. They are speaking about McKennie, but also Moisken, two players that can go to Roma for Zaniolo, and probably Roma paying us a bit of money for the swap between the players. McKennie that yesterday played at minus 17 degrees because he was playing with USA versus Honduras in Minnesota. Crazy that they played that game there with that crazy temperatures. They were taking advantage of the weather because Honduras is absolutely not used to these kind of temperatures, but man, that was a disaster. But anyway, McKennie at the 8th minute, he was able to score a goal. McKennie, a really important player for Juventus, more and more, starting also to be a bit more mature because his behavior was not always perfect, and now they're speaking about him to Roma for Zaniolo. I want to know your opinion, guys. What would you do? McKennie is a player that I personally really like. Zaniolo is a player that I love. He's also a really big Juventino. The problem with Zaniolo are his injuries. I'm scared. We already sold now Khedira in the past, now Ramsey. We have to keep that J medical empty, and Zaniolo is a talent. He is really young. Would I dare to do it? I doubt if I would go for it. McKennie is a player that probably is linked to Roma. Why? Because next summer, you know the rumors already. We are speaking about a big name for the midfield of Juventus. It can be Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, it can be Pogba, it can be Gravenberg, it can be De Jong, where with Zakaria, with Locatelli, with maybe Arthur staying, we don't have that many spots. Let's see also if we will continue to play in a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 in the future. So the position of McKennie, how good he's doing, yes or no, is at risk, and maybe going for a player like Zaniolo, going for that 4-3-3, Zaniolo, Chiesa, Vlahovic can be a solution, even if we have to speak about Dybala in a few minutes. I hope you're still there. I hope you already put a maximum of like and that you subscribe to the channel. Pay attention, it's not over. We have a lot of news. They start on Tuttosport on the paper of today with Zakaria saying Zach Allegri cambia marcia. Allegri is putting the other speed because we have to go faster now with a new player like Zakaria that is here at Juventus. Yesterday, his press conference, we have Chapuisat, ex-player of Switzerland that knows also Serie A really well. He said that Zakaria is a wall, a big wall. We see that picture with his long legs the day before his press conference. I was saying, hey, maybe the new Vieira. It can be the new Vieira. Pay attention. I don't really like comparing players with old stars, but in terms of characteristics, that's the player that he was reminding me of. Patrick Vieira, that played only one season at Juve. Yesterday he had a press conference where he said, if there is a player that I always liked and that, yes, it's true that I look a bit like, it's Patrick Vieira. He was confirming. Maybe he was reading my Twitter. I don't know. A player that I was really happy to hear yesterday in French. He said that his father is a Juventino, that he really knows the team really well, that he wants to leave actually his name in the history of Juventus. He was super happy to be one of us. He was all smiles answering the questions. Welcome Zakaria. I can tell you, I have a feeling that this guy, Denis Zakaria, with the number 28, he can do really well, and not in the future, but already now, immediately. I'm really curious, is he looking like Pogba? He said, pay attention, I understand what Pogba means to Juventini. I'm a different player, I want to be Zakaria. We continue also with another press conference from 2 days ago, Dusan Vlahovic, that, wow, I can tell you guys, rest a bit, this guy is a future champion. He's 22 and probably 3 days now. He has a maturity that I didn't see a lot in these young players. He spoke about a lot of things, but I can tell you that he has already a lot of Juventinita in him. We knew about this grinta. I didn't know about his maturity. In press conference yesterday, he went through some topics saying that at Juventus, nobody is waiting for you. There are no excuses. You have to prove yourself day after day after day, and it starts immediately. What about Holland and Mbappe? I know that some people on Twitter, on social media, were referring wrong words, mistranslation, they don't understand Italian, but he said, guys, I am Vlahovic, I am not Holland, I am not Mbappe, I have my own journey, I know that I compare to these kind of players, absolutely, but I will have to prove myself a lot. He spoke about the number 7, why did he take that number 7? Not because he likes Ronaldo, even if he didn't say it, but we know he likes Ronaldo a lot, but he said it was just purely because it was the number that was the most close to the number 9, his favorite number. But then he said that at Juventus that you are taking the number 1 until the number 100, whatever, they are all really hard to wear. Why? Because every number at Juventus has an important story. So he didn't care about that. He's not giving too much attention to numbers. He said about Chiesa, and we saw the pictures in the intro of the video, that he hurt him just before joining Juve. He's really sad that he will have to wait so long before playing with him. But yesterday, that beautiful hug was amazing. Vlahovic reunited with Chiesa, at least in the Juve world, but not yet on the field. He doesn't understand yet or realize yet what he actually is living. He's living the dream of playing in a club like Juve. I can tell you one thing before going to the other news. Vlahovic, he gave me a really great impression. He can do really well at Juve. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about the derby Inter versus Milan that will play on Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember. Anyway, that will be a really important game to understand where Juventus can compete. What if Inter lose? Will Juventus be linked to the Scudetto again? What if Milan lose? Will Juventus have a bit more easy to go into that top 4? We will have to understand that. Then they are continuing with Zaniolo and Juve. There is a contact. Corriere dello Sport is not speaking that much about Juve. They are speaking about Dzeko, Lautaro, that are still the best couple in Serie A. What about Juve? They are saying that Vlahovic and Dybala, they should play together. I also want your opinion about that. Dusan and Dybala playing together. Are they better as Lautaro and Dzeko? We will have to verify that on the field. Then there are still a few words about Prade, Comiso, and so on. They are all crying about Vlahovic to Juve. I don't know, but they were not crying when they took 75 million euro. What about the total mercato? They gave Tuttosport the 10 on 10 rating. On Juventus Mercato, 8 for Inter, 5 for 5.5 for Milan, even if they did nothing. So I don't even understand why that 5 on 5. Maybe because they didn't sell a lot of players. I want your rating of Juventus as well in the comments. Guys, we continue. I told you a longer video today. Premier League's bottom 5 teams, they have spent more than the whole Serie A together. They have spent twice what La Liga have spent and 3 times what Liga 1 and Bundesliga has spent in the Mercato. Just to tell you guys, Premier League, they are going all in. They have a lot of money. It's really hard to compete with them. Juventus did a great Mercato despite all of that. What about the Champions League list that yesterday Juventus communicated? We have our players with names who will be in that Champions League. We have some changes. Pellegrini made it to the list, and that's really great because he was not in the list in the first list of the group stages. He made it also with Vlahovic and Zakaria, who is out. Ramsey, Bentancur, and Kulusevski because they are not in the team anymore. What do we see? We see Chiesa there in that list. And why is it important? Because a lot of people were asking me, Beppe, why is Chiesa in that list if he's injured until the end of the season? It's really easy. Only 3 changes could be made. So no Kaio Jorge, he will not play Champions League in his first season in Italy because it was impossible. Only 3 changes were possible to make for Champions League, and this is for all the teams in the world. We have chosen Pellegrini over Kaio Jorge. Pay attention, because a lot of people are saying, what about Kaio Jorge? He's not playing a lot. We are not developing him. Allegri is not believing in the youth players. Guys, if you compare to the first season of Kaio Jorge and the first season of Dusan Vlahovic, that is now a big star in Italy and maybe in the world, we can see that after one season, a complete season, Dusan Vlahovic, he played 10 games, while Kaio Jorge has already 9 games. He played 159 minutes, while in total, Vlahovic played 207. So Kaio Jorge, in his first season in Italy, he can already potentially play more games and more minutes than Vlahovic in his first. There is one thing that you have to understand as well. Kaio Jorge, he made the decision to go to a Juventus, a club where it's more difficult to start, while Vlahovic was at Fiorentina. So we have to be patient with Kaio Jorge. He will continue to play, and he has all the time in the world to develop himself. What about the lineups? Allegri is trying different lineups because we have so much possibilities. Here on Tuttosport, you see 3 of them. 4-2-3-1 with Zakaria and Locatelli together in that midfield, Vlahovic on top, McKennie on the right next to Dybala and Bernardeschi. That can be an option in that 4-2-3-1. If you go to the 4-3-3, they are saying Vlahovic in the center with Dybala on their right, Zakaria, Arthur and Rabiot together. I don't like that kind of lineup. I don't believe that that will happen, especially not with Dybala in the front 3 and not with Locatelli out to give more space to Arthur and Rabiot. And then they are showing one that Allegri really likes, the 4-4-2 with Morata, Vlahovic on top. We know that Morata will stay until the end of the season because there are even talks about continuing with Morata if we get a discount next year. One thing is sure, Allegri will have to decide really fast because Locatelli can't play versus Verona because of a suspension, because McKennie will travel from USA and will be there just one day before Verona, so he will not have that much rest. Dybala is also traveling from Argentina to Juve and Torino, so we know that these players that are doing this kind of international flight, they are a bit more tired as the other one, so you will have to decide really fast. I can say you, and I think so, that Zakaria and Vlahovic, the 2 new stars from Juve, will start the game. A big question that I have before finishing the video is, what about De Ligt? What about Dybala? One of the 2 will probably leave Juventus at the end of the season. Will it be De Ligt with some cash that we will have because De Ligt is under contract with Juventus, so that means that we can cash in, or will it be Paulo Dybala without cash but saving a lot of money on his contract? That will be a big question mark until we see if the contract will be signed or not. We know that February was an important month to continue, or actually starting again, this negotiation about the contract. Not only him but also Quadrado, Bernardeschi, De Sciglio and more. So so let's see what will happen there. I'm really curious, but I'm not feeling confident that both of them will be in the next year's Juve. And we finish with Fagioli that Juventus wants to extend, giving him a really long-term contract because Juventus is really believing in the capacities of the young Italian midfielder. I hope you enjoyed the video. I told you it would be a longer one. Usually these videos are around 10 minutes. We are near to be 15, so I hope you put a double maximum of like, that you subscribe to the channel, that you remain on the channel. Thank you, grazie, forza, Juve.